Okay. Woohoo. Hey guys, welcome. So it's like blinking on and off, Jamie. My slideshow.
It's blinking.
Well, I can only see half of it.
I can see all of it.
Okay, well then I'll pretend like I can too. All right. So, that's bizarre. Okay, I can see the next one, just not the first one. So anyway, this one is about creating the momentum. So I'm really excited about this. And some other jewels and I and Jamie and I, we're all talking about things that they're doing to create momentum in their team and things that were really working and taking off. So I've compiled the list here of what was working, or what is working, I should say. And I'm going to talk about several of the ones that are working, but then I'm going to really zoom in on this new one that to me it's like, duh, why didn't we think of it? So some of you may already be doing a little bit of this, but we're going to step it up a notch with this. All right, so momentum, getting from where you are to where you want to be, because none of us right now are where we want to be eventually in this company, right? Okay, so concentrate on what you can do, not what you can't. So let's build on your strengths, build on your team's strengths, build on other people's strengths, and let's not cry and be upset about what we can't do ourselves. Don't get distracted by the small problems. Okay, momentum is the great exaggerator. It's kind of like a magnifying glass. If your team or your company or whatever is in momentum, so for us it'd be our Plexus team, is in momentum, it's like a magnifying glass is on you and on your team, because everyone wants to know, what are you doing? It makes leaders look better than they really are. This is not a bad thing. So when you're in great momentum, sometimes the leaders are just kind of steering the boat because they've created this momentum, and then they just kind of get to steer and just kind of guide their team. It helps followers perform better. They will follow your pace, whether it's fast or whether it's slow. If your pace right now is slow, your team's probably slow as well. All right. Easy to steer, but not as easy to start. Like I said, once your momentum gets going, it's easier to steer. It's not so easy to start, as we all know. The most powerful change agent is momentum. If you can get into this momentum, it's the most powerful change agent. We saw a ruby go to diamond, oh gosh, how many months? A few months. I mean, crazy momentum she had last year, and now she's diamond and her husband is sapphire. And she told me that this month he's gained 500 points. So he'll be diamond before long. So she right now is riding that momentum. She's steering it. And so these are some of the ways she has used. And then, of course, Amy Paul, who's driving the big Plexus bus, she is the one that has come up with this idea, and she too has gone very fast from sapphire, which she hit in March when I hit sapphire, and now she's almost to diamond. And March, that's 2 months, so crazy. The leader is responsible for creating the momentum for their team. So if your momentum, like I said, is slow, your team is slow. If you're losing people, your team's losing people, your momentum obviously is not there. So we're going to talk about how you as a leader can create momentum and get it going. All right, so here's the things you need to have as a leader. Vision. So you've got to have a clear vision of where you're going. You've got to have enthusiasm. If you're not excited about this, if you're not shouting it from the rooftops, if you are not encouraging your team and being enthusiastic, if you're not talking to your team daily, then where are they? There's a big gap there. You've got to have enthusiasm. Be enthusiastic with your team. All right, and then we have motivation. Obviously, you've got to have motivation. Your team has motivation. You want to step it up. You want to rank up. Maybe you have leader retreats goals coming up. You want to make it to leaders retreat. That's a lot of motivation. And then, of course, number 4 is action. So that's what we're going to mainly talk about is action. So the $1 million question, or maybe in our line of business, it'd be the diamond, get to diamond question. How do we put the action behind creating momentum? So here are some key steps that we know work. We know create huge momentum, but you got to get out of your comfort zone to do these. So number one, and it's probably one of the easiest, is to get you, prospects, and your team to meetings. You go to meetings even if you don't have prospects coming. Invite guests. Invite 10 guests, maybe one will come. And don't just invite by Facebook. Call this person. Hey, what you doing tonight? Oh, nothing? Hey, let me come pick you up. We're going to go on a girls' night. We might stop by this meeting place, you know. Once they've committed to they don't have any plans, you know, take them to Starbucks. We don't have Starbucks here in Rockport. So I could say, hey, want to go through McDonald's for coffee? Probably doesn't have the same effect as Starbucks. So use what you got around you. All right, number 2, three-way call or Zoom. So we've talked a lot about the three-way call. Leslie Vincent did a Zoom for us talking about the three-way call and how it has grown her team, and it helped Sabrina, of course, like shoot up. And then Sabrina's husband went fast start gold by using these three-way calls, or they would get on Zoom and do a three-way Zoom. This is with a prospect. It could be, I should say, with a prospect and your upline. It could be with someone who just has joined your team, and you get them on the phone with your upline, yourself, and your new ambassador. Get them on the phone, get them on a Zoom so that they can plug in. They'll know who your upline is. They will know who to go to if they have a question when you're not available. So it's not only introducing them to the upline, but also a way to help them gain belief in these products by listening to the upline that's there and has done this and is already where they want to be. All right, but this is our main thing we're talking about. All right, Power Prospecting Zoom Opportunity Meetings. I totally just made that up because there's not a name for it. So I'm going to call it Power Prospecting Zoom Opportunity Meetings. I think this will change your business. I think if you start doing it now, by June, July, August, you're going to see some explosive growth on your team. I think you're going to be riding that momentum. And maybe if we can start now, we can start riding that momentum into Leaders Retreat. And maybe everyone on this call can earn Leaders Retreat, maybe the big old check, or maybe the Bloomingdale's shopping spree, which would be amazing. All right. Not to mention all the lives you're changing in the meantime. Okay. So this slide says it starts with 1, Power Prospecting with Zoom. So I want you to see how this new idea, and like I said, it's not necessarily new. People have probably been doing it. New to us, how this domino effect can change your whole business. So the very first domino is your prospect. This is someone that said, hey, I might want to join your team, or I might want to buy your products. And then you see that these people behind them are their guests, their friends and family that might want to join them. All right, so there's pretty simple steps to this. It's really not hard. You're going to find one prospect and they're interested in joining, buying, or just wants to know more about the products or more about the business. So you're going to ask them, you're going to say, hey, Jamie, do you maybe have a few friends or family members that could use better health, maybe lose some weight, maybe wants to build a business? Could you maybe find just 2 or 3 people to get online and do a Zoom with me and my upline? And now, if you're dealing with older people that don't know how to Zoom, you can do a free conference call. There's an 800 number, and you call, and it's super easy, and I think anyone can do that. Now, you lose the excitement of seeing people's faces without doing Zoom, but you still get to hear the excitement in their voice. So I think conference call is a great thing to do if you have someone that's not internet savvy and is afraid of getting on Zoom. But if you can do this on Zoom and you can help these people get on Zoom, I think it will be much better. All right, so all you're asking them to do is find 2 or 3 friends. If they invite 5, they might get 2, and so on. All right, so this is basically all you're doing. So someone comes to you and they're interested, and you're going to ask them to find 2 or 3 friends to get online and do a Zoom with you, and then I would ask your closest Jewel upline, excuse me, to do it with you. All right, so you get 1 new person that wants to join, and then 2 or 3 friends on a Zoom together with you and your Jewel upline. Sounds pretty easy, right? It sounds pretty easy to me. I think the hardest part will just be scheduling with your Jewel upline, whoever that is, and then getting it and doing it. All right, here's a Zoom call script, what you might want to go over in this. All right, I would start with an introduction. Have your Jewel upline give their testimony, their why, their business testimony. If they have an amazing health testimony, then get them to share that. Next, you're going to talk about the 3 key objections. So before you get into talking about the products, before you get into telling tons of testimonies or answering questions, share the objections that people have. And here's the reason why. If you're on a call with somebody or a Zoom or an opportunity meeting, and someone raises their hand and says, hey, are these products, are they approved by the FDA? Before you can even come back with a response, what this has done is it's put an idea into all those other people's heads that, oh, this isn't FDA approved, and suddenly they start thinking of all these questions, and they're not thinking about what you're saying, because in their mind they're thinking, maybe this isn't safe, maybe I shouldn't take it, maybe I need to talk to my doctor. That's what they're thinking. So you want to raise the objections before they do. And it's like you're nip it in the bud, they don't think about it again, and they move on, typically. Okay, so the 3 important things are the 3 objections that they always ask. Will it work? Is it FDA approved? And what's it going to cost? Is it too much? You guys should all know the answers to that, but in a minute, I'm gonna show you like my sample slideshow I would use. Yeah, I will share all of these with you guys, so don't go crazy. I will share the slideshow and the next slideshow I made, and Jamie and I are gonna act it out here in a bit too, so you'll kind of get it in. So y'all don't worry about notes. I will share all this with you so that you're able to copy it at your leisure. Okay, so where was I? Let's see. All right, so you're going to get these objections out of the way. Now, each of these objections I'll talk about in the following slideshow, so I'm not going to talk about that at this moment. All right, then you're going to go over a few key products. I would always do triplex. Now, if you only have 20 minutes, don't do X Factor, Mega X, or whatever new product is coming. I pray for that new product. I pray it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. So for right now, I would start with the triplex, and you're going to share a little bit about the triplex. And then maybe your other ambassador that's on, whose friend is there, can say, oh my gosh, yes, this is what the Slim has done for me. This is what ProBio 5 has done. This is what BioCleanse has done. Or maybe they have a fantastic X Factor testimony about how they have, nails and hair, and when they stopped taking it, they didn't have energy. Their pee is not bright yellow because they're not just peeing out those B vitamins. So all these things you can talk about. All right. Then your other ambassador on the call could give their why, give their testimony. If you have other ambassadors, they could, of course, give theirs as well. And then I would encourage you to just let the Zoom meeting kind of go where the questions are asked. So then you'll turn it back over to them and you'll say, well, do you have any questions? And then listen to their questions and answer them. I know some of you kind of panic at this thinking, I don't know enough. I won't be able to answer the question and I'll be on the spot, So this is where if you have your Jewel upline on the Zoom with you, then they can probably answer any of the questions. If ever I get a question that I don't know the answer to, or you get one of these crazy health crunchy people that want to know why this is in it. And you're like, oh, no, I just take it. So that's great when you say, you know what, I'm not sure. I'm going to research that and I'll get back with you. And then write it down and make sure you research it and get it back to that person. Don't just forget about it, because then guess what? They're going to ditch Plexus because you didn't come back with their answer. And so they're thinking either you're hiding something or it's not good. So get back with people that you say you're going to get back to. And then that's it. Their questions are done. Then you can say, thank you so much for joining the Zoom. If you have any questions, you can talk to Jamie about it or whoever your ambassador is. Here's what's going to happen. Because you've talked about these products, you've had at least 2 testimonies from the Jewel upline, probably business testimony, from the ambassador that got them on the call. You're going to hear her testimony or his. And then that person, 9 times out of 10, is going to sign up on your team. Now, what happens if those 2 or 3 guests suddenly think, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this journey with you? Because isn't it more fun to go with friends? I mean, if I didn't have my friends in this business with me, it would not be fun. I mean, you go get a job in the real world and you have to work with whoever you're with. Plexus is different. You get to work with your friends. You get to bring them on. You get to work with your family. My sister-in-law is 2 sister-in-laws are in this business. My mom, even though she just kind of buys wholesale, I mean, I've got family, I've got friends, and it's amazing. So they're going to see their friends signing up, and then they're going to think, maybe I should too. So then look what you've got. You have turned that new person into a silver ambassador, or if they get 2 to sign up, almost a silver ambassador. How much likely is it that this person is going to stay on your team and work because suddenly they've earned $100 in their first day or first week or first month of Plexus? Think about that. To me, I see this big domino effect. If you can continually do this with new people coming on board, brand new ambassadors, invite them to invite 2 or 3 friends. Even if they got 1 friend on a call with you, it would be life-changing. And I think you would start seeing momentum and massive growth. Oh, I think I went ahead of my slide. Now think. There's Mr. Winnie the Pooh thinking. And I've pretty much already said that. If a prospect can get a few friends to sign up or buy products right away, what confidence do you think they'll have? Could they then do this again and again? And what if all your team set these calls up? What if they started doing this? Can you see what I'm talking about with this domino effect? Okay, so we are going to do a little role play. So I'm going to stop sharing this one. Hold tight just a second, and I'm going to share my one I made. Oh, wrong button. Okay. So let's say that Jamie here, there it is. All right. So let's say that Jamie called me and says, Kim, would you get on a call with me? I have a friend and she's got a couple friends and they want to hear more about Plexus. So Jamie and I are just we're going to role play just a little bit what we might do. So I made this slideshow. Now I'll send this to y'all, but I just did this real quick. So you would want to take it and maybe tweak it or maybe not use it at all. You can do a Zoom with no slideshow. You can just talk and be real with these people. You could hold up a bag of Slim in front of your computer and say, this is Slim, this is ProBio, this is BioCleanse. So this is the slideshow that I made. And so I would say, hey, welcome, Jamie. I'm so glad you brought Susie and you brought Tim tonight to hear more about Plexus. And then maybe Jamie would introduce her people.
This is my friend Susie, and she is a teacher with me. And then this is my friend Tim. They go to church him and his family go to church with me, and they are some really good friends of mine. And I just think that they would be interested in hearing about this new business adventure I'm starting.
Great. I'm so glad you guys were able to get on Zoom with us tonight. I tell you what, this business, these products have changed my life so completely. My husband and I were both teachers. We were living paycheck to paycheck. No college saving, no savings. Forget about college. Who needs college? You know, our kids can just roam the streets. I mean, living paycheck to paycheck. And suddenly I saw a friend of mine post on Facebook about Plexus, and people kept saying, tell me more, tell me more. And so I tried it. I loved the products. About month 2, month 3, I started losing some weight. And I thought, you know what? I think this could be my avenue to get my husband and I out of debt. So of course, started the products, and within about 6 months, I was making more than my husband was at his full-time assistant principal job. And so I decided to quit my teaching job that year and focus on Plexus. My husband continued to teach, and now we have sold our home there. We've moved to the coast, which was a lifelong dream of my husband, to live by the coast. He's thinking about starting a fishing business. And this whole last year, we have lived in Rockport off of my Plexus business, and been home for my kids. My husband cooks breakfast in the morning and does car rider line, y'all. That's huge. Now, if you have a husband that maybe does shift work and can do car rider line, you know what I'm talking about, because it's nice to just say, bye guys, because I don't let my kids ride the bus because I'm paranoid like that. So anyway, totally life-changing. So let me just share some of these products with you. But before I do, I want to talk real quick about the top 3 questions, the top 3 things that people say to me about these products. So I just want to get these out of the way. So, is Plexus FDA approved? So I'll say no, because no supplements are FDA approved. Baby formula is not FDA approved, and I gave that to both of my babies. They're alive. I don't know if they're well in the head, but hey, we go as we have what we got. No, I'm kidding. They're fabulous. We are under strict guidelines. We have to follow strict guidelines, I should say, from the FDA. Next question that I'm asked a lot is, will this really work? And I'll have to tell you that thousands upon thousands of testimonies I've seen, texts, email, calls to me, how fabulous they're feeling, that they've lost weight, that they're off medication, that they can sleep at night, that they were depressed and that they're not. Some of that's non-compliant, y'all, so I'll have to work on wording, obviously. Now, if you are doing a private phone call with someone, you can say those things. You can say depression and headache. Go for it. Private calls, okay. Live on Facebook, not. All right. But I will tell you that Plexus is not magic. It's a tool to help you. So if you're going to get on Plexus and expect to, lose 50 pounds in your first 2 weeks, it's not going to happen. You're going to be disappointed. If you're wanting to use Plexus as a tool to help you get healthy and to really start a new lifestyle, then that's what we're here for. And that's what Jamie and I would help you do as far as the products go. And then, of course, is it expensive? So I'd then ask you, how much do you spend on junk food and soda, medication? How much is your health worth to you? I know if you're young, you think, I'm good, I'm healthy. But let me tell you that when I started taking Plexus, that I started feeling so good, I didn't know I was feeling bad when I felt bad. Does that make sense? It's like I feel young again. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I don't get tired in the afternoons every once in a while. But for the most part, I just move on through the afternoon without going to Sonic for my 2:00 happy hour soda. So medical care later is far more expensive. So if you just wanted to get the Slim for that balanced blood sugar, it's $2.66 a day. That's like going and getting your Sonic drink. And again, you can talk about these prices in a private conversation. So you can say this, but again, you couldn't go post this slide on Facebook, just so you know. And then if you want to do the whole triplex system, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, or Jamie may tell you about, that's $4 a day. So all of these things, you know, you can swap out. Maybe you could not eat out once a week, and you could pay easily for your triplex. All right, so here's 15 products, and we're about to get a new one real soon. We're really excited about that. So we have 15 products in the Plexus line: weight management, healthy lifestyle, discomfort relief, breast health. Now, through this, you guys, what you can do is I can talk to Jamie before we get on this call, and I can say, hey, Jamie, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about triplex? Do you want to, you know, share this slide? So you guys can communicate with your person, with your ambassador, and decide who's going to say what. All right. And then this disclaimers here that I think come convention, we're going to get a new disclaimer. But so far, this is the one we have. So that's the one that that is on this slide. But I think we're going to get new ones with the doctor on board, y'all. So exciting. Okay. So then 9 times out of 10, people are wanting Plexus for weight management. So let's talk about the triplex. You would talk about each of those products. And then I may say, hey, Jamie, give your testimony on, you know, Slim, or give your testimony on PB5. So you guys can kind of work back and forth on the products. And then I went ahead and threw Mega X and X Factor slides in there in case you wanted to talk about those. And then at the end, I might say, oops, I forgot a slide for the other ambassador's testimony. So I would definitely then get Jamie to share her testimony. And then you would open it up for questions, and you would say, so Tim and, oh, I forgot the other person's name. Don't do that. Like, get a piece of paper while you're doing this and write the people's names down. I just thought of that. It's a great, great thing to do, so you can call them by name. So they feel important, and they feel like you're really listening to them, or you really care about them as a person, not just a, you know, number to get on your team. So you could say, hey, Susie and Tim, what do y'all think? Do you have any questions? And then they could throw those questions back at you. And then if your ambassador, if Jamie's like, oh, I don't know, and she's quiet for a second, then, you know, I would step in, or Jamie as a Jewel would step in and answer the question the best that she could. So I will send this slide to you, this slideshow to you as well. And then, of course, we can add to that slideshow. We can kind of talk about it and tweak it. You can tweak it. Nothing is set in stone. You guys, you can take this and roll with it. I think this will be life-changing, life-changing. I'm really, really excited about it. I can't wait to get, you know, my next new person and do this. So what I would encourage each of you to do is get a piece of paper, write down some names of some new ambassadors, either some new ones you just signed recently that you could do this with, or write down some names of people that you need on your team that you could, or people that are on the fence that have been going back and forth. Say, hey, would you be willing to do, and you could always spin it too, where you could say, look, if you can get 2 or 3 people to join you on this, you can get your products free. If you're a good math person, you could do some math, and you could say, you know, if you could get 3 people, you could get your products free, and then, you know, then go into the whole spiel about doing the Zoom and see, you know, see what they say. So I hope that makes sense. Think about it. We'll post these online, and then if you have any questions, of course, you can ask now, but later if you have questions. And of course, Jamie and I are always here to do these for you. And if you're under Jamie, I mean, if you're under Jamie, you're under me, obviously. But if Jamie is not able to do the Zoom, say she's out at the pool or whatever, and you've got a Zoom you want to do, and she has crazy hair, then you can say, hey, Kim, can you do the Zoom with me? And I'd be more than happy to. So, you know, feel free to ask me, ask Jamie, whoever you need to. Lovely. Yes, you should wear those. Awesome. So anyway, obviously we have lots of fun. All right, guys, what questions do y'all have? Throw them at me. Or Jamie. I'll let her talk too.
Okay, I have a question. I was thinking about this while you were talking, but I didn't want to interrupt. So during our slideshow, because I know a lot of us get this, you get that person that says, well, I don't drink any sodas, and I don't buy junk food, I don't eat out, and so I don't need Plexus, I'm super healthy.
I should have let you do that when we role played. My bad.
It's okay. You were on a roll.
I was role playing by myself.
You were. I was going to say that. No. I was over at the pool. No. So for our ambassadors, how we were role playing, I think it's great because most of our people do, can think about. I know for me, I didn't drink soda, but I did go to Starbucks twice today, and so that added up. And so, what would you say when you get that person? Let's say my friend Susie, my guest, is the one that says, "Oh, well, I don't drink soda or anything."
Are you asking me or them?
I'm asking you. Sorry, we're role playing again.
Oh, my bad.
Forgot to tell you.
Okay, so I would say if the person said to me, like she said, that I don't drink soda, I might say, well, have you ever been on antibiotics in your life? Well, of course they have, I'm sure. I don't know many people that haven't. And do you eat processed foods? Have you ever gone to Sonic or Whataburger or Subway? And they're probably going to say, oh, we don't eat out at all. So do you buy all grass-fed beef all the time?
Well, I try to buy organic. I mean, all of our fruits and vegetables are organic, and I do buy organic meat. So we try to eat really super healthy.
Awesome. That's so good. And so I guess what I would tell this person then is that even the person that eats as healthy as they can probably still has bad bacteria. And if it's a private conversation, say Candida, sound smart. If it's a private conversation, still has Candida overgrowth in their body. Also, the way that our grains are made now are nothing compared to the grains they made in the 1950s. So if you're eating wheat and you're eating grain, if you're taking antibiotics, this Candida is growing in your gut and it's causing issues that you may not even know about. And so I would encourage you to try our ProBio because it's going to have those enzymes that are going to go in there and kill this bad bacteria out of your gut. And they're linking so many things to the gut and so many things to unbalanced blood sugar. Not to mention, it just makes you feel so good and energized without caffeine. Caffeine, I know you said you don't drink soda or anything like that. So you may not have a caffeine issue, but especially if you're not drinking soda, you want that natural evenness that balanced blood sugar brings, which our Slim can help you with.
Awesome. I'd like to add to, not role playing now, one of the things I found, in addition to what Kim says, sometimes you get some of those that are super stubborn and they're just like in denial. They think that, unless they have a farm and they're growing every ounce of their food, they don't care if you're not eating out. We never really ate out and all of that. It's impossible with the way our food is processed, like Kim said. One of the things I found before Plexus, I was researching ADHD because my husband and my two sons have it, and I found that our food is highly magnesium deficient because they take magnesium out of the soil to grow more crops. So you get bigger and more crops, but it's not as nutritious for you. So maybe point that out to them that, yes, you're eating all of this amazing food that is organic, but it's not as nutritious as when our grandparents or your parents or even you, depending on your age, ate them. If you're eating food after 1960, it's not as nutritious for you. And I like what Renee said, food matters. That's a good one. Food Inc., Fed Up. But I think people just don't realize that. They think that, oh, I buy organic, so I'm super healthy. And the fact is, even organic, you have to read the labels because a lot of the organic stuff isn't as nutritious as we think.
Right. And listen, this is a key thing you just have to get into your head is that you have organic and you have non-organic. Let's just say vegetables, right? You can buy them, and organic, you're not getting the pesticides. And if that's all you can do, that is the absolute best you can do. You don't have a farm you can go buy from. I just got involved in a farm share, people. There are people out there that you can buy straight from the farm with. But if you do not have that avenue and all you can do is go to HEB or your grocery store and buy organic, then do it, because that's better than buying non. However, that organic apple and that non-organic apple, the nutrients are not is not better in the organic apple. So you're eating that organic apple and you're not getting pesticides, and it's better for you. But if you're talking about nutrients is going to be about the same in each of those apples. Now, Crystal, my ambassador Crystal, next Sunday is going to do a big Zoom on the gut and exactly what our ProBio is doing for the gut. And she's going to cover a lot of this. And she is amazing. You will want to be on next Sunday's call. She's knows so much about nutrition and all that. So what we were just talking about will go right into next Sunday. So it'll be a fabulous call. All right, y'all have any questions?
I do. In Australia. Sorry.
Yay! Hey girl, all the way.
I do not look put together. So.
Tim Tams.
Oh, good. Well, I'll bring some more to convention if you need, love.
Woo, woohoo.
So my question is, and I think it's my own fear factor, but how do you ask your potentials to do these calls without scaring them of they're going to be attacked by two people? And a lot of my team, I don't know. They're off of what we call buy, swap, sell sites here. Mm-hmm. So how do I tell a stranger practically, hey, hop on a call with my sister and we're going to bombard you with tons of Plexus information?
What? That seems scary to you?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't scare me, but I think it'll scare the hell out of them. So.
Okay. So this is what I'd suggest. And then Jamie, chime in if you have another suggestion. My suggestion on that, Janelle, if you don't know the person, it is a little bit harder. So let's say you don't know the person. So then I would say, okay, if the person's motivation is money, is it business and money? Then what I would do is I would have on paper, well, not paper. We don't use paper anymore, do we? Anyway, have written down, on your notepad or in an email that you can share with them and say that if you can get this many people to join your team right away, you're silver. You've earned $100. You could get products for free. So it's kind of like doing an opportunity meeting on Zoom. So you could say, hey, I've got this great tool that could help you earn money right away if you would like to use it. I mean, obviously, if they're scared and they don't want to do it, then we're not going to, push them into it or try and talk them into it. But you could say, I have got this great tool. It works really well at growing your team. It's like a meeting, but it's going to be on the computer from the comfort of your own home. And if you can get 2 or 3 people on the call too, we can share these products. It'll be real quick, 15, 20 minutes tops. And then, it could really help propel you in this business. If their motivation is, say, weight loss or health, and they don't really care about the business side, but they're signing up, to get wholesale, and maybe they might want to. Obviously, this Zoom is more for business-minded people, but let's say you have someone that wants to try products. Then I would say, would you like to get on a Zoom and hear some amazing testimonies from so-and-so who's lost 50 pounds, or from so-and-so that no longer has to take asthma medication? So perhaps you could kind of, tweak it with whatever the person needs. Does that make sense? And obviously we don't want to push anyone into it. Jamie, what are your thoughts?
I was just going to say that I know for me, even though I'm super outgoing and will talk to anybody and be on any stage, you ask me to do a 3-way call with people I don't know. If I were a new ambassador and Kim had asked me to do it, with somebody besides Melissa, since I knew Melissa, I would be like, I don't think so. But I think what Kim said, especially about the business, I mean, for me, I was desperate. I mean, if Kim would have said, hey, you know, if you want to work the business, I have something that would work. I would also add, I might tell somebody if they're wanting to work the business, I would really love to get an action plan together with you and and have a little strategy session. I'm going to invite my upline because she's been there and she can offer some insight. But I would also love for you to invite some people you think would be interested as well, who we can maybe help with this. I think for products I think what Kim said was really good for that. I think too, you know, for people, I've done them where they get together at somebody's house. So it's not like that last minute, oh, I can't make it excuse. But I think the more excited you are, even when you're afraid and you're fearful, if you sound confident and you sound excited, I mean, that was one of the things I loved was Kim was excited. I mean, she had a sample pack in the workroom at school and was just like, here, here. And so, I mean, I was like, okay, what is it? You know, is it drugs? No.
Those are hidden in there later.
I think your excitement, if it goes before you, that's going to rule out their fear because your excitement is going to be comforting. So by you being like, hey, like, oh, I'm so excited you're interested in Plexus or whatever, that's going to kind of break down some of those walls because I've had people join my team that I didn't know. And by following up with them, got to know them. You know, maybe try to find some connection points too to build a little bit of a friendship. Anybody else?
Yes. And Janelle, one other thing too, if these people you don't know, perhaps they're going to try the products out for a month first before they sign up. That's fine. So maybe the people that are uncomfortable about it, then I would just kind of wait a little bit and maybe in 2 or 3 weeks when they've tried the products, they love the products, then suggest it. So yeah, we don't want to scare people away. And obviously people you know are a lot easier to do that. So maybe that would work better for you in that situation.
No, I think these are great suggestions because that's, I think, why I haven't done any 3-way calls is because almost my entire team I don't know. So it's kind of like, how do you not push it to the point where they quit responding to you full stop? Or period, whatever country this is.
Right.
Sorry. So, okay, that's awesome. That's really good suggestions. Thanks.
Okay. Hey, what time is it there, Janelle?
Almost 1 p.m.
Okay.
on
I think that's cool.
Monday.
On Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah, I can tell the future. It's great.
Woo-hoo.
Monday's a good day, guys. The sun's out.
Good
Y'all
to
in
know.
Texas need it.
Oh, amen. We do.
Yeah.
So somebody asked, don't y'all suggest that we don't do a launch meeting on Facebook? I replied saying that you can. I personally haven't done them, and I don't really care for them. I feel like they're not personal. I feel like it's more salesy. I personally hate being added to pages without people asking me. I get added to all of these launch parties to every company imaginable, and it's really a turnoff to me. Even friends that I support their business, a lot of times it's like, I will support you, but I do not want to be a part of a page where I'm going to get 50 million notifications every time you post in the page during this launch party event. You know how people post like every minute or so. I think that I personally don't feel like they're very personal. Like you can't connect with your new ambassador or their people. That's a personal preference for me. What do you think, Kim?
I think that they can't see your excitement on the Facebook launches. They're not a bad thing. And if you're doing them and you're successful and you're gaining people, then keep doing them. I think that when you're typing up stuff and they're just seeing your black and white letters, They're not seeing the excitement in your face. They're not hearing you. They're not seeing you. I'm not seeing Jamie's crazy hair from the pool. And I'm like, she is living life large. She is not working. She is out at the pool. I mean, of course it's Sunday, so that wouldn't work on like, a weekday, but it means it's amazing. She can use that to her advantage. I'm not working today. I'm at the pool with my family and here's my story. I mean, it's personal.
I think too, sometimes I'll do a Zoom and you can do them from your phone. I'm on my laptop right now, but can you imagine the potential? Somebody who is looking for financial freedom, you do a Zoom and I'm at the pool and you can see, you can tell I'm in my kitchen right now, but can you imagine that potential of hearing like our story and then being like, I'm working my business right now while I'm watching my kids swim. Like that's Plexus freedom. That's going to resonate more than me sharing my YouTube testimonial where I recorded it in my kitchen and I could post it from the pool and tell them I'm at the pool, but you can't really see that. So that's a personal opinion.
But I think there's a place for the Facebook launch parties. There's a place for them.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, if it's working for you, then keep doing it. I would just suggest asking people's permission before you add them into the page. Asking uplines permission. I mean, obviously, I don't care. If you're gonna work that, then add me, and I will certainly help any way I can. But your guests, ask them first, because you don't want them to get annoyed with Plexus before it even starts. So ask them, say, hey, I'm starting this new whatever business, Plexus, and would you like to be added to this page? It'll just be for a couple hours. It'll be deleted, afterwards, so you won't get bombarded. Just ask permission. And some people are more willing to do that than to get on a Zoom. But also think about conference calls, because they're free, y'all. And the people that are afraid to get on and actually see you might pick up the phone and dial an 800 number and listen in and feel like they can be a fly on the wall and no one sees them, but they can still hear the excitement in your voice versus just typing it out. So in my opinion, it would be Zoom and then conference call and then three-way call, and then that launch party would probably be last, but it's still a good thing.